Welcome to Blue Marble Defenders story number 24, Earth on a Knife Edge. This is the second in the story about the Martian invasion. Chapter 1, The BMDs Jump In. Each of the MARG members declined to join with the Blue Marble Defenders. Some said their governments wouldn't support it. Others said their space agencies wanted them back, and others gave no reason. Pops was disappointed and asked them to complete their assessment of environmental impacts of the Martians' deeds, their theft of seawater near Hong Kong, theft of air over Russia, and theft of topsoil in Iowa. Do all that before they left. Pops then told the Secretary General he had disbanded the MARG but would keep all countries abreast of developments on his own. He declared that the Blue Marble Defenders would represent Earth to the Martians until the Security Council took control themselves, and the Secretary General agreed. With the MARG members gone, the conference room was quiet. The astronomer and the technician, well, they went about their duties in silence, and Pop sat thinking through the situation. He was about to phone home when a red message from the Martians' flying saucer popped onto the communication screen. It said, "Want talk on Earth." And then the phone rang. "Yes, Secretary General. Yes, I saw it, and I'll take this opportunity to inform the world's governments the Blue Marble Defenders are taking charge of Earth's response. I'll send it out right after I reply to the Martians." But first, Pops phoned home. Mom, Leo, and Rookie put themselves on speakerphone and heard him say, "The Blue Marble has never been in trouble like this. I need you all to come. This time, I'm not looking for daring or strength. I need careful listening, imagination, and resourcefulness. Earth's future is on a knife edge. Drop everything. Come now." Chapter 2, A Visitor. Overnight, Pops exchanged several messages about where and how to meet with Deep Rock's flying saucer, and he discussed the approach he intended to take with the Secretary General. 10 minutes before 8 o'clock in the morning, the two of them chatted on the steps behind the UN's Palais des Nations while they were waiting for the Martian saucer to touch down on the Ariana Park lawn between them and the 4-meter tall celestial sphere that was ringed by a water pool. Thinking the Martians were late, Pop looked down at his wristwatch. But when he looked up, the saucer was settled on the lawn. When his door opened, a ramp descended, and a meter-tall being appeared. The two men walked toward the base of the ramp, each with an erect and dignified bearing. A small electric vehicle followed them. It was open like a golf cart, but larger, with a second row of seats facing back to a 2-meter square platform. The driver lowered the cart's ramp close to the saucer's ramp. When his arms and suction cups pulled up tightly, the Martian descended on the 4 legs circling its body. They seemed to whisper as they moved. His red colors appeared warm and friendly in the early sunlight. Pops noted that his dome's upper parts were lighter red than in the image they'd received earlier, and then he realized all his colors were of a lighter hue. As the Martian descended, Pops noticed that each eye could move independently within the channel, and he surmised the Martian could either hold a 360-degree view of all his surroundings, or he could intensely focus. His 4 eyes locked onto the 2 men as he descended the ramp. When he came closer, Pops judged his skin to have the consistency and strength of an elephant's hide. The 15-centimeter vertical slit on the Martian's body under its eye band was tightly closed. Pops bowed, approached, and opened his arm toward the platform behind the electric cart. The Martian glided smoothly off the saucer's ramp and up the cart's ramp to the center of the platform. Pops pulled a lever on the side of the platform, and a 30-centimeter guardrail rose around its edges. The two men seated themselves facing the Martian, and the driver drove carefully into the Palais side entrance and into a conference room with a round table. The driver raised the platform to the table's height. Pops dropped the guardrail, and the Martian whispered onto the table. The Secretary General and Pops seated themselves on tall stools that brought their eyes to roughly the same level as the Martians. And the Secretary General said, "We welcome you to Earth. Please tell us how we might address you." The Martian's 4 eyes focused on the Secretary General. The Martian's bottom gave out a deep toot, and then a series of vibrations, and his red dome lit up with white letters making the words,
"Me, Deep Rock."
"I am the Earth's United Nations Secretary General, and to my right is Dr. Galileo, a representative of our people. Please tell us why you have visited our planet." After a momentary pause, Deep Rock gave off the same sound and vibrations, and his dome flashed.
"Me friends under rock. Want live surface. Need grow food. Need air. Need water. Want help. You planet big. Close. Want help."
Pops looked at the Secretary General, received his nod to go forward, and said, "We will help." The 4 eyes instantly focused on Pops, who continued, "We do not want to hurt you by helping too much. We want to discuss how to best help you and your friends." The screen flashed.
"You help. Not we hurt. You hurt. We hurt."
Said, "We will think about how to help. Please return in 2 days. Same time, same place." Deep Rock tooted, vibrated, and he flashed.
"You help or we take."
His legs whispered him onto the platform. Pops raised the guardrail, signaled for the driver, and in 5 minutes, Deep Rock and his ship were out of sight. Back at the Secretary General's office, he said to Pops, "Well, at least we're in a dialogue and he's not stealing the things we need to live. And unfortunately, he's not shooting at us. How do you see the situation?" "Well," Pop said, "the good news is Mars is only half the size of Earth and they can't make use of all our air and water." "Well, of course, there's bad news. Bad news is they have the power to take anything they want. Going to war with them would mean certain defeat for us. We need to kick our imaginations into high gear and find a practical solution where they get what they need and it hurts us very little." "Ha!" the Secretary replied. "That attitude won't sit well with the dragons, the bears, and the cowboys out there." "Hey, I know, but bluster doesn't win wars." Happily, Deep Rock agreed to give us 2 days to come up with an approach all countries can agree on. I was afraid if I asked for more, he would have replied, "Too long, we take," or something like that in his dialect. "I'm bringing the defenders in to help. We need the world's best minds on this." "You're in the driver's seat, Galileo. If you don't succeed, we're all out of business. I'll work the politics with our 193 countries. You fix the Martians' problems without hurting Earth." He said with a smile. "I don't know which of us has the bigger challenge." Chapter 3: A Turn for the Worse. "I hope you guys appreciate this special treatment," Mom said. "It's not every day the UN sends a limo and private jet for you." "Oh," Leo said, "I appreciate it, Mom. But I also know inmates on death row always get a special last meal." Rookie said, "Yeah, and if I remember right, Spartacus got special treatment before he was thrown to the lions." Mom said, "Whoa! If Pops invited you to Geneva because he needed a dose of optimism, he's going to be disappointed." And then she winked. When Pops trotted up the sidewalk to greet them, they saw a fatigued face and wrinkled clothes, but he was as cheerful as ever. The three were glad to be jumping into the thick of things and ready to work hard. Pops showed them to the bedrooms, which had been vacated by the Marg representatives and then cleaned up just an hour earlier. He said, "I'd planned to take you all out to the Café de Paris restaurant for dinner tonight. Hey, but things are just too tense. You'll have to settle for the dinner buffet that will be wheeled into the conference room in a few minutes. I'll brief you on today's meeting with the Martian leader, and we'll spend the evening figure out how to help them without damaging Earth's environment, that is." The defenders were finishing a delicious Mongolian hot pot dinner when the astronomer and technician with those guys, when the big communication screen flashed and filled with red text.
Earthlings to want meet you. Explain tomorrow, same time.
I said, "Well, well, I've often heard diplomacy looks boring on the outside, but is full of surprises and confusion on the inside, and I guess this proves it. Since tomorrow's meeting will include 3 Martians, there should be 3 Earthlings present too. The Secretary General wants us to handle everything, so if you all agree, Leo and Rookie, you come with me, and Mom will continue working on how we could best meet their needs." All nodded agreement, and Pop said, "All right, let's put in a couple more hours now and hopefully make some progress before we collapse in exhaustion." Leo and Rookie had thought Pops was only kidding when he said he'd wake them at 4 in the morning. But when he turned on the light in their room, Rookie moaned, "Oh, God, that light is brighter than the star Sirius." "Must be," Pops replied, "because I have Orion's belt right here in my hand, and it's pointing at your butt." Leo said, "Well, haha, that's funny, Pops. But are you serious about getting up now? We've had only 4 hours of sleep." "Hey, I'm afraid so, guys. We need to get our thoughts together and prepare responses to the various demands those Martians might make. You guys saw their power in action in Hong Kong and Siberia and Iowa. They're calling the shots. It's up to the 3 of us to ensure the well-being of all Americans' people. We got to be prepared." And with that, 4 feet hit the floor and the day began. It was chilly, and dew wet their feet as they waited on the Ariana Park lawn. Pops looked up and said, it's not the saucer this time. Hey, it's the cruiser." The sleek spaceship settled down gently near the 3 waiting electric carts. It covered most of the sloping lawn, and Pops told the boys it was 7 or 8 times the size of the flying saucer that had landed the day before. A portal opened, a ramp slid to the ground. Deep Rock appeared and descended to where Pop stood with Leo and Rookie. 2 other Martians followed. They were the same height and general appearance as Deep Rock, but they were wider and had deeper coloring. After they descended the ramp, Pops welcomed them and added, "We'll make introductions inside." 3 electric carts transported the Martians to the conference room and lifted them to a rectangular table along the back wall. As the Earthlings mounted their tall stools, Rookie and Leo, they were on edge. They were always at ease when action was involved, even if the danger and stakes were high. But hey, sitting across from never-before-seen life forms with staggering power, well, that was surreal. Pop spoke first. "I would like to introduce you to 2 representatives of planet Earth. This is Rookie to my immediate left and Leo to my far left. Deep Rock, may I ask you to introduce your 2 colleagues and explain what you would like to address today?" The familiar toot and vibrations were followed by words flashing on Deep Rock's dome.
Crack, there, Frizzer, crack, talk.
After it chewed in vibrations, a long and articulate message scrolled slowly on Crack's dome.
Deep Rock has led our society for a very long time. He saved us when our atmosphere disappeared. He carved huge spaces underground and saved air there, giving us a new Martian world. Frizzer and I were young, but we grew and joined him. We were lucky to be able to help him and all others by inventing things, and now we want to move our society back to the surface of Mars. Deep Rock agrees we should move quickly forward.
Frizzer now tooted and vibrated, and his dome scrolled.
Deep Rock explored Earth long ago in his saucer and returned saying it was a strange place and not a happy place. You fight each other, and some hate each other because they look different. He said Earth was given wonderful air, water, and soil, but that instead of recognizing your good luck and conserving them, you think you deserve them and can abuse them if you choose. If you had lost your air and water and suffered like us Martians, you would be wiser. When Deep Rock returned yesterday and said you want more time, Croc and I noted Earth was fast to attack our ships. Why is Earth not fast to offer help? We do not trust your Earth beings. We think you will ask more time and then attack us again. We have the power to destroy your society, but that is not our way. Tell us from where you would like us to take air, water, and soil, so we will harm you the least. If you do not, we will just take them. You have 1 day only. Do not ask for more. Goodbye. We will now return to our ship and depart.
Pop said, "Please wait a moment. I would like to discuss with my colleagues to see if we have any suggestions we can impart to you immediately." Crack tooted and flashed.
5 minutes Earth time only.
Chapter 4. Things Get Ugly. Pops led the boys to a small room around the corner and took a seat while they remained standing. "Guys, things are looking bleak. If we can't reframe the situation and inject a new dynamic into the conversation, then we're toast. We need a good proposal tomorrow, but in the next 2 minutes, we need a new dimension in our relationship. They're in a hurry, and we need to come up with something, anything, to keep them from just ransacking Earth." Rookie asked, What do you have in mind, Pops?" And he replied, "I'll give you the what, but each of you need to figure out your own how. Here goes. Build an interpersonal connection with the Martian sitting across from you. If he interacts with you at all, you'll be lucky to have 2 minutes. Just get it going. Start a little flame, but look, if you fan it too long, Deep Rock may pour water on it, so less is more." The moment he had climbed onto his high stool, Leo looked directly at Frizzer and said, "You've given us a big challenge in a short time frame, and I like that because it frees my thinking. You probably don't know I'm an inventor. With all the great technology you have, would I be right to assume that you are an inventor also, Frizzer?" The usual sound, of course. They arrived just before Frizzer's screen filled.
Yes, Leo, I am.
Can you describe any other of your inventions? Frizzer replied.
Look at me. Do not be frightened.
He released one of his suction cup-like limbs from its rolled-up position and jetted it toward Leo. It stopped barely 10 centimeters in front of his face and left Leo shocked and frozen. Frizzer then continued.
Probably thought these were simple little suction cups for pulling in mineral dust. Well, they used to be, but then I invented the 3 grinders you see inside. Now my cup can fasten to solid rock and within seconds have very digestible dust for me.
Leo regained his composure, but he could only sit and stare in amazement as Frizzer continued.
Now I am not the only one with grinders. Yes, I invented them and installed them in my own body, but then I bioengineered them and invented a method for all Martians to grow their own in quite a short time.
Leo responded, That's amazing, Frizzer. Congratulations. Hey, now another thing. We noticed a field shielding our view between Phobos and Mars. Some time ago, I invented an invisibility cloak myself, so I'd love to know how you built that shield. Would you? Remembered Pop's warning and interrupted Leo by telling Crack, I'm an inventor too, but these days my passion is for playing sports. Do you play games? With the now familiar preamble, Crack replied,
I do. I love games. All kinds of games. The main reason I want to live on Mars' surface is I like playing games with balls, and we would have more room there.
Rookie jumped in, saying, We have a great ball game that takes a lot of space. It's called baseball. Here's one of the fun things about it. I can take a simple ball, he said, raising his left fist in front of his chest. I wrap my fingers around it like this, throw it, and make it curve. Then Crack interrupted.
You can make a projectile curve with movements of your simple human hand. Imagine what I can do with a hand like this.
He pulled back in shock as one of Crack's arms shot out from under him like a rocket and almost hit his nose. 8 fingers with 4 articulating joints and ending in nearly straight claws were extended, covering his entire face.
Watch this.
The fingers elongated from their first joint near the hand and doubled in length.
I want to tunnel through rock. It is no problem at all. Earthling bodies are not strong, and my hand could go through you without even slowing. We Martians are tough because we eat rock. You Earth beings think they are tough because they can hate others. You Rookie may be good like Martians are, but many Earthlings are not good and do not deserve their air and water.
Pops did not like where this conversation was going and stopped it by saying, Deep Rock, Crack, Frizzer, we are pleased to have met you, but before you leave, and Rookie Leo and I return to our task of suggesting a best way for Earth to help Mars, do you have any more suggestions for us? Deep Rock moved forward a few centimeters, tooted powerfully, and sent strong vibrations through the table. His dome lit up with capital letters.
Want live surface, want grow food, need air, need water. We good, you not. Help, we take. Tomorrow.
Leo, Rookie, and Pops escorted the Martians to their ship, waved goodbye, and marveled at how silently it elevated and quickly disappeared through the clouds. Walking back toward the Palais, Pop said, "You two did an admirable job initiating personal connections with the Martians. Hey, but I'm not optimistic the personal connections can trump the Martians' urgency. They're tough and hard workers, and they've overcome tremendous obstacles. They value the good of the whole, and they view Earthlings as selfish creatures consuming our planet's resources without care or gratitude. I'm afraid they'll say to themselves, Earthlings hate and harm others, so they don't deserve what they have, and we need it, so we'll just take it." Guys, I hate being pessimistic, but I know you can relate. You know the feeling. Remember how you felt when you fell into that deep crevasse and you knew nobody would come to help you out. Leo said, "Oh, yeah. Pops, I'm starting to feel the same way now." Rookie stopped in his tracks, clapped his hands together, and said cheerfully, "Yeah, and look how that turned out, guys." Leo and Pop smiled and dashed around him into the Palais and got there first. Chapter 5, Getting Serious. Mom had mulled over the Martian dilemma, researched the planet, and was structuring assignments for Earth's response when Pops and Leo ran into the conference room with Rookie chasing after them. They briefed her on the meeting, and she listened intently to what they learned from the Martians. She rose from her chair and paced the room as she spoke. "What a crazy situation! We four defenders are shouldering the fate of the world while the world's three strongest nations refuse to work together and lead. They didn't protect us from climate change, and now when Earth's very existence is threatened by a Martian invasion, they shoot a few rockets into space and act like the threat will just go away because they can't deal with it. They're irresponsible to leave such a huge life and death challenge to just the four of us." Mom took a deep breath, exhaled slowly, smiled, and added, "Okay, glad to have that off my chest. Leo and Rookie, I'm encouraged by your talks with Frizzer and Crack. Martian values remind me a lot of the values of older generations of people on Earth. They also had tough lives, overcame problems, valued honesty, integrity, and hard work. They didn't think the world owed them anything, and they didn't expect privileges. The Martians' demands for our resources do threaten us, but I can imagine becoming friends with them if this situation works out." Pops asked, "You've been noodling on how we should respond to them. Do you have tasks for us?" "Sure do," she said. "I see four main points to think out. And," she said with a smile, "fortunately, there are four of us to address them. I propose that Leo take water, Rookie take air, Pops take soil, and I take transition plans for both Earth and Mars." "Woohoo!" Rookie explained. "We got some work ahead of us." Leo added, "So let's get to it, gang." The defenders burned up the internet doing research, sat with their chins on their palms, lounged back looking at the ceiling, and did it over and over again. Keyboard clacks all the time that filled the room the way crickets fill a tent after the campfire goes out. Then the communications monitor flashed and everyone looked up to see the red message.
And Frizzer want talk Leo and Rookie same time tomorrow.
"Hey, that's good. I'll see if they'll give us more time to make our proposal in compensation for that." He typed the screen, showed his message in green, and it said, "Yes, we agree, but you must give us one additional day to send our proposal." A few minutes later, the screen flashed the red word, "An extra day helps, but let's make all the progress we can right now, and then we can speculate on what they want to talk to us about over dinner." Chapter 6, Serious Trouble. The spaceship touched down the next morning, and the defenders transported Frizzer, Crack, and Deep Rock to the same conference room table. Frizzer started the conversation with the now expected toot and vibrations and the words,
Before starting our conversation, I want to make sure you know we Martians communicate by vibrations and telepathic waves. The translation and display of our thoughts that you see up here,
as he pointed toward his dome.
that is my invention. I know Martian people should not brag. I'm sorry, but I am proud of that.
Then Crack displayed.
Frizzer did a good job. It hurt when he installed it on me, but it works and it does not hurt any longer.
Oh, Frizzer, your bioengineering is amazing. I hope we have time to get into it because we must soon return to work on our proposal for getting you air, water, and soil. Crack flashed.
Let's keep time, half the time, to be outside. We love your air, but most important, I want to play a ball game here on Earth.
He reached into his pocket, pulled out a real baseball, and held it toward Crack. That's the ball I can curve. Crack did a little dance that shook the table. He started reaching for it, but quickly withdrew his 8-fingered hand. The colors on the three Martians deepened. The reds became fire engine red, and their greens seemed to crackle. The table vibrated. Deep Rock flushed a burnt orange color and flashed in capital letters.
Did you do? Why this outrage?
Looked toward Crack and said, I don't understand. What do you mean? And then Crack flashed.
Is your rocket doing another attack? You must be like other Earthlings. While we are here talking, you shoot a rocket at our other ships.
Colors now raged across the domes of the three Martians. Pops looked briefly at the laptop at the end of the table, raised both hands, and said, Please, I just learned of the rocket. You don't understand. Its purpose was peaceful. It was sent by Japan, a most peaceful country. They only want to measure how your ships affect the temperature of Earth's upper atmosphere. Deep Rock flashed.
Leave. No, try, stop.
Leo was knocked off his chair when the three Martians jumped from the table and shook the floor. Frizzer moved quickly through the door. Crack plowed straight through the wall, and Deep Rock followed. They descended the corridor at the speed of human sprinters. They blew out the door to the park, and they blew out the wall around it. The defenders navigated through the debris and only got there in time to see the ship silently rise and disappear out of sight. The defenders rushed back to their situation room where Mom pointed up to the red letters on the big screen saying,
Things bad. No trust. We take.
This story will be continued in part 3.